Hello, everybody, dear startups. I'm very happy to welcome all of you again to our Startup Germany tour after more than 1 month. After the first attempt of our virtual matchmaking, unfortunately didn't work out and we had to postpone the date. I'm even more happy that this time it didn't only work out with the matchmaking, but that we can offer you a short, exciting impulse in advance. Hopefully, some of you have already made successful contact with our German companies in the last weeks, or will do so in the upcoming matchmaking. I'm sure that this will result in one or the other success story. Within the last tours, we had many of this kind of success stories, and we thought that we would like to present one of these stories to you today. It is about the Slovenian startup OmniOpti and the accelerator program StartPort from Duisburg, and it is presented to you by my colleague from the Chamber of Industry and Commerce in Duisburg, Alisa Schuler. The Chamber in Duisburg is also responsible for the organization of the matchmaking, so I would like to thank Alisa, but also Andreas and Daphne from the Chamber in Duisburg for the great cooperation. Yeah, and now I'm handing over to Alisa and wish all of you an exciting insight into the story of OmniOpti and StartPort. And yeah, see you later.
Thank you, Dominic. I'm glad to be here today and to moderate this discussion for the next 20 to 25 minutes. We're just a small group today, but if you've got any questions, we've got a chat, so feel free to use this option, and Dominic and I will keep an eye on the chat and we will try to answer all of your questions. So yeah, let's get started, and I would like to introduce you now to Martin Petar from OmniOpti and Jan Herzogenrath from StartPort. Let's start with you, Martin. Could you, for all of us who haven't Googled you before, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, about OmniOpti, what you're doing?
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. Happy to be here. I'm from Slovenia. I'm a mathematician by profession, and optimization is my passion in every aspect of my life. I was active in IT for logistics for over 15 years. And a couple of years ago, I founded my own company called OmniOpti, which kind of means all the best, approximately in Latin, because, well, the core functionality is a multi-objective route optimization algorithm, which I developed when I was working on my PhD studies in mathematics. So we provide a lot of solutions which are all best in some sense. Yeah, this is in short.
Nice, thank you. So I guess the slogan, all the best, is also a good slogan for the matchmaking today. So yes. Thank you for that. And now Jan, what about you? I think some of us who are based in or around Duisburg have heard about StartPort already, but could you explain a little bit more about yourself and StartPort?
Yeah, thanks a lot. At least I hope that people from startups in Duisburg know us, as we are accelerator and incubator focused on startups from the logistics sector and supply chain. I think that's quite particular. And my name is Jan Herzogenrath. I'm responsible for the accelerator program and the partner management at StartPort. And I think what it's important to understand regarding StartPort, that it's a 100% subsidiary of the Port of Duisburg. So logistics is at the very heart of our interest. But we also have partner companies from the region that help us to identify new use cases for startups. For example, the Wirtschaftsbetriebe Duisburg, Initiativkreis Ruhr, the RG Stiftung is one of the partner companies. We have Borussia Dortmund as one partner, the Duisburg Intermodal Terminal, and Klöckner as a big steel trading company. So a lot of use cases, and all we do is also matchmaking. So I'm very happy to be here today.
Nice. Thank you, Jan. So now we've got the Slovenian startup on the one hand, and we've got the German corporate on the other hand. How did you guys meet each other and got into cooperation?
Well, actually, I attended this Startup Germany event. Also, I'm happy to see Merja from Finland. Hi. So another colleague, which was hi, which was also attending the event. It was really nice and interesting. A lot of interesting connections that we made. A lot of interesting information that we got. A lot of wonderful moments that we've had. And one of those was, of course, also a matchmaking event at one of the locations. I'm not quite sure exactly which one it was. There were so many, but anyway, I think we met there with Jan, and he explained us about the Startport program. And of course, that was very interesting for us, and we applied, and luckily we were accepted. So we're really happy to be part of this program now.
And luckily you applied also for us. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was about a year ago, you said?
Yeah. We that was about a year ago. Yeah, we've seen actually that it's a great opportunity for us, a very important step that could open us new doors, and that's why we just grabbed it. You know, when you're a startup, you need to keep pushing in all directions all the time, and every opportunity that you see, try to seize it, because a lot of them, nothing will happen with them, but with some of them you might get some breakthrough. But if you don't try, you'll never know. So that's what is really important.
So you need to be really proactive and talk to people. That's what it's all about.
Yes. Networking is one of the most important issues, I think, to let other people know what you're doing, what you're capable of, and also hear about other people's problems and how you can solve them. So I would say perhaps that's even something that's still lacking a little bit, you know, especially the big companies. Somehow they are reluctant to explain about their problems because they think, well, or it might affect, let's say, their position on the market or in competition or whatever. However, I still believe that it's really important to give some problems out, you know, like hackathons. It's really, I think, a great option. So it's not just about pitching. If startups are only pitching what they can do and so on, I think it's great. Of course, it's the basic stuff, but the best thing is to upgrade it also with perhaps some kind of hackathons. We just participated in a hackathon in Port of Valencia a couple of weeks ago, and we've seen that we can bring huge savings to the road transport around there. So the same goes also for other ports, I'm sure. But if we were not allowed somehow to get in and to get access on the real data that they possess, we would not be able to understand what their problems are and to prove that our solution is beneficial to them. You know, this is the biggest step, somehow getting through the doors, letting the companies give you an option, the possibility to prove yourself, you know, to prove that what you're talking about is really true and that you can really deliver the benefit that you have in mind. You know, this is the biggest obstacle, the way I see it.
That's a very good point, I think, and maybe just to add one thing, that's also one of the aspects. Startport is therefore to make exactly those kinds of introductions to corporates and maybe even get access to data, to more information, to really work on this data. After all, it depends, of course, on the startups to finally, you know, their entrepreneurs, their companies, to close some deals and do business, but to give a space for those opportunities and gave a platform to really make those connections. I think this is very important, and therefore I think, Martin, gave a very good advice in taking every opportunity and every network possible to really get the maximum of opportunities. Yeah.
Yes, maybe just one anecdote. Also, last year we went to the Ruhr Summit, and over there it was a really nice event. The Guinness World Record, the longest business pitch. So it took, I think, 34 hours or something like that. And there were, I don't know, every startup had, I think, 20 minutes to pitch altogether. Pitch and questions and answers, and it was really nice. I know I was also doing that pitch sometime 1 a.m. or something like that, and I was fascinated by the jury that was listening to all this for 30 hours plus, and they were still focused, and they had great questions and so on. But what's also great is that just recently, about a month ago or something like that, there was a guy that came to me and he said that we met at that event. He was listening to the pitch, and that they would like to cooperate with us. Now they had this chance, and something opened up, and they remembered us. And after 1 year, you think, oh, everybody forgot us. Who would remember that? But no, if you are really pitching a lot or presenting yourself and making a lot of connections, you never know when something is going to happen and when something is going to change, tip over, and start rolling.
Yeah. So you said the networking part was one of your big expectations when you came to Germany to take part in the tour. Was there anything else that you were hoping for?
Well, networking, finding connections, open doors, and so on. This was something that we hoped for. Finding partners, definitely. So in that, in the event of Startup Germany, we were also introduced to some of the major logistic players here in Germany, and we were very happy to do that. And we had some discussions with several of them. Of course, due to COVID, also some have put some of their plans on hold. But we'll see what happens. And also in the Startport program over there, from then on, also a lot of useful contacts emerge, and possible cooperations also, I'm sure, and so on. So they're really great experience, and a lot of useful stuff has come out of that, definitely.
Nice. So it sounds like most of your expectations were fully fired, and so you would do it all over again?
Yeah, it would be great, definitely. Mm-hmm. To come over. It was really nice too. And well, as mentioned before in our chat in the preparation, often the most interesting or the most important somehow bonds also form within the group that's doing, between the startups. We had some great connections with the startups from Africa and from Finland and Russia and so on. So this is really also one of the key, let's say, benefits or values that you can get from such an event, especially if done in person. However, also the online world offers a lot of that. It's not the same, but it can be much more efficient, though a bit less fun, sometimes.
That's true. So Jan, you also said before a little bit why Startport takes part in the matchmaking and in the startup tour. Could you give a little bit more detail about that?
Yes. Yeah, indeed, for us, it's a very interesting event. I think one reason for it is that at Startport, we are taking a look at only a certain group of startups. We're only taking a look at startups that have an innovation for logistics and supply chain. So not all the startups are relevant. And if you take a look at this group, then of course at the start you take a look at their own city and in Germany, and you find some startups. But after some time, it's important also to look across borders, because worldwide there are very interesting logistics startups. And one big advantage, I think, of the Startup Germany tour is that those startups who participate already have the willingness to collaborate on an international level. And I think that's, of course, for us, as it might be important for the startups to come to Germany during the program, or at least have business contacts over here. It's a very good condition, I think, for us to find those startups. And also, of course, startups that participate have been selected by the Startup Germany tour before. So there was already a first quality check. So that's also always good to know that the startups that are participating are very interesting indeed.
Nice. So I was just thinking about, so you met last year at the tour, and then I guess you exchanged phone numbers and you had a couple of calls, and how did it go on after that?
Yes, well, it went like it normally goes in our program. We have an application form on the internet, and Martin and I think we made a follow-up meeting, right, Martin? But it's already 1 year ago, and Martin applied for a program and had to pitch his solution before the jury, the Startport jury, that consists of the different exclusive partners I told about before. So they decide which startups are selected, and he could convince the jury that he shall participate in our startup program. And yeah, then there was the onboarding, and the whole program started. And that's also the way still we're doing it. Startups can apply on our platform, and we will get back with the feedback from the first feedback from the jury. And if the startups are very interesting, they can pitch the solution to all those big corporates during the selection process. Yes.
And is it very likely to get a pitch, or are there lots of applications?
Yeah, I think it depends on the fit of the solution. If it's, for example, it's important that the solution has something to do with logistics and supply chain, right? So if we receive applications and we don't see the benefit for logistics, sometimes we don't even present it to the jury because it's not relevant for them. But of course, there are also solutions that in the first place don't seem to be relevant for logistics, or don't seem to be a logistics topic. But if you take a look at logistics in detail, maybe there are some use cases. So for example, logistics is still not very digital. So if you have a solution that helps to make in general processes in big corporates more digital by, for example, analyzing paperwork and extracting all the information and so on, this could also be useful for documents in logistics and all kind of those things. So those startups could also apply and get access to the program.
So chances are pretty good.
It was remarkable that in the last selection, in the last startup batch, we accepted 14 startups in the program, and 2 startups were met at the Startup Germany tour. So I think that's a very good sign for this event. Yeah.
Cool.
So of course we were happy to participate again. Yeah.
So I just saw in the chat that we got a question, so I might just drop that in. So Peter Nilsson wrote, what is the normal time frame for taking a startup from their native country and into Germany?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it depends. Somehow maybe Martin can also share his story, but I think it depends on the kind of product the startup is evaluating. There are so many factors that contribute to the decision to go to an international level, from the actually from the size of the own market. You know, if you're a startup based in Israel, you have to move fast to the next country. If you're based in the US, you can continue to grow a lot of several years and then later go on an international level. So it really depends from various factors, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, Martin, at what, after how many months or years you decided to finally do the first business project abroad?
Well, just regarding this startport program, we participated mostly remotely, even though we had the chance to move to Germany and to be there all the time. Somehow it was kind of a bit difficult for us, or somehow we didn't decide to do that, so we just attended the events that were held once a month. Well, before the COVID hit, so I used to go there every month to participate in those events, but otherwise we were working remotely. That perhaps did affect maybe the effectiveness, or somehow the results that we could have gotten out of it. I'm probably quite sure that if we were sitting there every day, it would be much easier to go just across the street and to talk to some logistic companies. Well, so due to that, and also our focus perhaps was not so strong. So we are trying to do a lot of we're trying to cover a lot of ground. So a lot of things that we're doing in our home country, but then also some neighboring countries and Italy, and now starting some operations in US and so on. So it's a bit difficult to keep the focus, you know. But of course, the focus is important if you want to get some results somewhere. We're just more somehow extensive a little bit. So that was one thing. However, well, though I must admit, I like this opportunity to have this remote operations, because also the Corona times, actually, I like the changes that have done. I really like that we can have this meeting online, that I don't need to go to Germany somewhere to travel the whole day to get there and be there for a couple of hours and then the whole day to get back, you know. It's much more efficient. I'm in optimization of logistics, of routes, and the best way to optimize the route is if you don't need to take it, you know. That's for sure. But so actually, this times have been very exciting for us, and especially when you're a startup, it's very difficult to gain trust of a corporation for them to allow you to come in and to work with them. And they say, well, you know, we've been doing things for 20 years, and I don't think you'll be able to improve us a lot. You know, we've got a lot of experience and knowledge and everything, and money and stuff. But now the COVID totally shifted. It was an earthquake, you know, of the landscape. So the companies are aware that they cannot do things the way they've done for 20 years, you know. Some retailers say, well, we're sitting here and all the people come to us, and we've been doing this since forever, and this works fine for us. We don't need route optimization for home deliveries or something like that. But now they do, or at least they have to seriously consider that. And because it's out of their comfort zone, they need to find solutions, and complex solutions don't just grow on every corner. So they are willing to accept some things even from smaller companies which are not renowned and proven with 100 references and so on. So this is a huge opportunity for startups because the silos broke due to that earthquake. And you're now able to get in much easier and much faster. That's why that also accelerated our businesses, but we had a lot of things to do also in our region, so perhaps we're not focused enough perhaps on the German market also, but definitely there's a lot of opportunity everywhere. We've also started with some more complex solutions for those route optimizations and so on. And even though it can be implemented really fast, like in 1 week, it's complex and it's difficult to understand. And people don't believe that, are you really going to save us 20%? No, that's not possible. We've got smart things in our office, smart people in our office. And so now we also moved a little bit towards some other solutions which are a bit simpler, like warehouse arrival notification, reservation, yard management solutions, which are really well, much simpler and easier to understand, and also faster to implement. So you need to pivot a little bit, you know, back and forth, and find your way through.
Awesome, thank you. We are running a little bit out of time, so we had another question in the chat, but I think you answered all of the questions already. It was about COVID. So thank you very much, Jan and Martin. I think we all got a great insight into your experience. I think, Jan, you and your team will be at the Matchmaking now coming up. Yeah. So I will now hand over again to Dominic, and he will give you some more information about how we will proceed now. Thank you.
Yeah. First of all, wow, that was very interesting. And I think the story is a really nice example of where the Startup Germany tour can lead you to. And I really like the point that after 1 year, someone you met at the Rose Summit contacted you, Martin. Yeah, also from my side, many thanks to Martin and Jan, and of course, many thanks to you, Alisa. As Alisa said, now it's time for matchmaking. Yesterday, all of you should get your schedules and the instructions how everything will work. So now please log in into the platform or later when you have your schedules. If there are any problems, I will try to help you spontaneously. Just contact me by mail or by WhatsApp. Yeah, and now I wish you good luck with the matchmaking and hope to see you on Sunday at the last program point of Startup Germany tour. There you can network with each other again and exchange maybe your experiences here in Germany, your first experiences maybe. And like Martin said, the networking among each other is also a big benefit of the Startup Germany tour. So use this opportunity. Yeah, I wish all of you good evening. Thanks to our speakers and see you on Monday. Goodbye.
Bye, have fun.